So what's up, guys? If you don't like spiders, forewarning, we got some creepy crawlies that I'm going to be talking about, and maybe it might freak a few of you out. So, what? Did you hear that? Anyway, guys, there's this movie that's called Sting. It's coming out April 12th in the theaters, and you can go see it. Swear to God, I'm hearing something here. Guy? What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we've got a spoiler-free review of a movie that's coming out to theaters April 12th called Sting. And it's a giant spider creature feature horror film that I think you might be interested in. Wellgo USA has put out this film. It's actually an Australian film, although you wouldn't know that because everybody's speaking without an accent of some sort, but it is definitely an Australian film. They did send a screener over for us to check it out ahead of time, so thank you very much for the opportunity to check this film out. I've been pretty excited to see it. So, what is it all about anyway? Well, after finding a new pet spider in an adjacent apartment in this apartment complex, Charlotte finds out that her new very intelligent spider has some deadly properties to it, and it starts to grow, and she soon has to face the facts that, well, she may have to save her entire family from the clutches of this creature. It literally transforms into a giant, flesh-melting spider. First up, I want to say I actually pretty much enjoyed this movie for the most part. There are some reservations I have about a couple of things in the movie, but I think for the most part, it's definitely leaning towards the good than the bad. But there are going to be some people out there, I think, that are definitely going to pick this one apart. People like different things for different reasons, and some people really want to see a creature feature film go kind of buck wild, and while this movie does go buck wild, it may not be as buck wild as they wanted, but there are some good things, and we're going to talk about them. And this is a movie that was actually written and directed by Roache-Turner, who is the guy who did all of the Wormwood movies and also the Necrotronic film, which was about demons coming out of your cell phone, which I actually kind of liked. And I'm going to say this is definitely an evolutionary step above his past films in writing characters. It's much more grounded in a realistic fashion about this family that's dealing with a lot of this crazy stuff in an apartment complex run by some of their elders, some of their grandparents, their mothers, their family. And other than it being quite the long 45-minute runtime of getting to the really good stuff, it's actually not that bad of a family written drama. Like, at first I was actually really getting into it, and it does show its flaws. There are quite a few in there later on with the characters. There's kind of a twist that's going on in this movie too that you'll find out early on in the movie that I really liked. I liked the characters in it though, and I know a lot of people have been saying that they have been having some issues with some of the dialogue with these characters, but I see it as just a typical non-functioning family unit, you know? You've got the daughter, you've got the newborn, the mom, the stepdad, and there's obviously a subplot going on there with all of the family. The young girl in the movie, who is played by Ayla Brown. Some of them are a little tropey, some of them are pretty decent. There are some moments in the film that I probably wouldn't have chose dialogue-wise, and I know a lot of people are really kind of getting issue with the dialogue and some of the characters a little bit, but honestly, it felt different than I was used to seeing. There was things that happened in this film with the characters that I was not expecting. So that's kind of a nice surprise in a little way. Even if it is at times tropey, they do shift it around enough to make it feel kind of fresh. I did connect with the daughter, stepfather kind of characters pretty early on in the film, but it does take a while to get to the really good stuff. And for those of you who were looking for a creature feature, this may be a very big negative to you. From my experience in watching many horror movies like I have, and the folks who love creature features, we really just like to get right into it. And while this movie does start off with kind of a bang, it also does take a while to get back to another bang. 45 minutes to really get in there. This family drama subplot works for the most part if you're not paying attention too closely. There are some flaws in some of how people react and things, I thought, but it's something I can overlook because, I mean, ultimately, this is a creature feature film, right? We came for the creature. We just want people to be eaten. And if the characters are interesting, hey, we got some interesting characters. But hopefully, we get to see a lot of the creature, and boy, do you. This creature in this movie, they did practical, CGI, visual, puppetry, animatronics, and they do a fantastic job of it. It's the Weta Workshop, actually, and it's Weta, by the way, because I had to look that up, which means cricket? I don't know. I thought the graphic practical effects and stuff were actually pretty on point. There's nothing too over the top, nothing too crazy in the film that will be like too much for most people. There are definitely moments in the film that are going to kind of make you, if you're a spider, hater. But I really like the makeup and effects and stuff in it. It's just kind of a little above average as far as like quantity. Quality, it's definitely through the roof. They do a really good job here. Although some of the spider webbing stuff that they use in this film to kind of mimic whatever is going on for this spider, because you find out the origin of this spider relatively early on, and I kind of like that, by the way. There are some characters in the movie that kind of push along the narrative about this spider that are a little too convenient, but it's an isolated movie in a snowstorm in the middle of like New York, and there's characters coming in and out, including a bug guy, and he is a little bit on the tropey side, but I did enjoy him for the most part. He comes in with a lot of cuss words like right off the bat, and filling up that R pretty heavy, which I thought was a little weird because he's saying this stuff to an older lady, which, by the way, the older lady in this film is actually kind of adorable in a way, even if maybe the ailment that she's dealing with in the film isn't quite, up to snuff as far as reality. It is kind of an interesting plot tool that they use in this film early on, and I really like that. But ultimately, I'm here for the spider, right? We're here for the spider show in this creature feature film. So was it any good? Well, yeah, I really enjoyed the film for the most part, but there was a lot of moments in the film where it dips a lot, and it dips some pretty heavy spots there for like 30 to 40 minutes, and that's a bit much for a lot of creature feature fans. So if you hang in there, it does pay back a little bit of your time for the most part, but there are going to be people who are on the fence whether they like the film a lot because there's things to really admire in this film, while others may not like it because they had to wait too long to get to those parts. Some of the characters in the movie make some really odd choices, and I think that's just, writing. Ultimately, like I said, creature feature, so we're focused on the creature, right? But if you're going to put a large heap of character family drama stuff in the beginning, before you put in the big chunky old, monster, it definitely is going to get a few complaints there. And like I said, this is Kea's first film that I feel like the dialogue was much better. It actually works, flows better than a lot of his previous films have. Not as independent feeling. This definitely is a stab at the mainstream. So, it's aiming for that appeal. I think it's a fun watch if you want to go see this in the theater. It may not be a 10 out of 10, but is 7.5 or an 8 maybe for some people? I'd say, yeah. I'd say a 7 is a pretty decent film. Now, some people are making comparisons to Arachnophobia. I didn't watch that before this. Both of those films have their merits about it. This is a very condensed, smaller film with a very giant spider that does some of the practical effects well. I would say that this is probably between like a 7 and a 7.5, but I'm leaning more on the 7.5, so I feel like it's a much more solid film than that, and it could lean into 8 for some other people. So just keep that in mind, that this one's going to kind of have people a little all over the place. That's a lot of movies, but this one in particular, I think, is going to please or not please some people in specific ways. But I think overall, the experience is just a good one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Did you see the movie early at the mystery thing that they did at the theaters? Or are you waiting to see it on April 12th when it comes out? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you again, Wellgo USA, for letting me check out this film. And guys, hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and the little bell notification to let you know when I got a new video out. We got my birthday coming up, so stay tuned. We got some fun things and a giveaway, so you're gonna want to stay locked to the channel. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.